Good morning to all. Welcome to the Diamond Group of Institutions online classes NEET and JSET. Today's topic it is sexual reproduction in flowering plants. In these are the sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Some of the questions are we have to discuss as usually what we are going to say as a previous classes. So today's first question it is what does Phylloxera apparatus do at the entrance into ovule? So we know Phylloxera apparatus is a small thin layer we are seen in a synergy of female gametophyte. So once you can imagine about the structure of female gametophyte, in a microphylla end, three cells will be going to present, those we call as edge apparatus cells. In the edge apparatus cells, two sides small layer will be going to present, that layer only we call as a filiform apparatus. This is the filiform apparatus, its function it is. So it brings about opening of pollen tube. Filiform apparatus will not help into the opening of pollen tube because pollen tube will be don't developed from the pollen grain. Pollen grain having as two layers, outer exine and inner intine. Intine layer is helpful to the formation of pollen tube. So option 1 it's a incorrect statement, and option 2 it helps into the entry of pollen tube into a synergy. So filiform apparatus is helping to the entry of pollen tube into the embryo sac, but here they given as it helps into the pollen tube from a synergy into a antipodal. Actually pollen tube can carry into a two male gametes to perform the fertilization. So here fertilization is occur in angiosperms as a two ways, that is double fertilization. One of the male gamete is fused into the egg cell and other one of the male gamete is fused into the central cell. So here antipodals are they present, that antipodals are does not involve into the any fertilization. So that's why option B they given as it guides the pollen tube from the synergids into antipodals, means pollen tube will not associated male gamete will not uses into the antipodals at the time of fertilization. So option B also incorrect. And coming to the option C, it helps in entry of pollen tube into a synergid. So now to perform the fertilization in an angiospermic plant, pollen tube will carry the two male gametes. The pollen tube will going to enter into the embryo sac through one of the synergid. So the synergid contains as a small thin layer that's called as filiform apparatus. It helps into the entry of pollen tube into the embryo sac. So that synergid is called as this is degenerated synergy. So that's the major function of filiform apparatus in a fertilization. That is, it will be don't give a signals or guidelines to the entry of pollen tube into the embryo sac. And option D, it prevents entry of more than one pollen tube into the embryo sac. So filiform apparatus does not involve into the prevention of the pollen tube entry. Just it will be don't give a guidelines into the entry of pollen tube into a synergid. So option D also incorrect. Answer is C. Coming to the next question, the suspensor during the development of an angiosperm embryo formed from. So after the fertilization in an angiosperm plant, so here angiosperm plants two fertilizations take place, that is double fertilization, and in these of the double fertilization, first our primary fertilization then form into a zygote. So after the formation of the zygote, here the zygote is formed towards the micropyle. After the fertilization, this is the zygote. After the completion of the zygote it is converted into a embryo. So after the formation of the zygote is converted into a embryo. At the time of zygote can undergoing a different divisions. The divisions are zygote first and undergoing as divisions and form into two cell structure. One it is having large in size. That large size cell we call as basal cell, or we are also called as suspensor cells. and other one of the small cell it was present. The small cell we call as a embryo cell. So this is the zygote. At the time of embryo development, zygote can undergoing as a two divisions. The two divisions are and they can form into two cells. One of the large size cell it's called as a basal cell or suspensor cell, and small size cell we call as a embryo cell. So the suspensor during the development of the angiosperm means of that suspensor cell it will be don't developed in angiospermic gland at the time of embryo development. So options are there given basal cell, apical cell, embryo cell and generative cell. Based on the options here, answer is a basal cell. From the basal cell only suspensor cells are there formed. Then what's the means of apical cell? Apical cells we call as in the lower group of organisms such as a Spirogyra, which are the cell it was located in the upper portion of the organism. The cells are we call as apical. And coming to the embryo cell. So embryo cell we know. Now only we are discussed after the formation of zygote. These zygote can form into two cells. The two cells stage, one is the basal cell, another one is the embryo cell. Embryo cell is formed into embryo. And coming to the generative cell. The generative cell we have seen in a pollen grain. The pollen grain having two cell structures. One it is one of the cell it is called as vegetative cell, and other one of the cell is called as generative cell. The generative cell can give into the two male gametes. Next question it is, which of the following statement is or false? Option 1, endosperm formation starts prior to the first division of zygote. So here also endosperm formation it will be going to form before the division of zygote, because at the time of embryogenesis it will be going to needed the food material. Means zygote is converted into embryo, some of the nutrients are required for the nutrient develop for the nutrient to give the nutrients in after the fertilization in the central cell. Primary endosperm nucleus will be going to form. It can undergoing as a division and they can form into a endosperm. That endosperm gives the food materials into embryo development. So that's why before the zygote division, first endosperm formation is occurred. So option 1 is a true only. And option 2, the most common type of the endosperm is nuclear. So endosperm development or endosperm it was classified into three types. Those are cellular endosperm, nuclear endosperm and halobial endosperm. So out of these three, most common type of the endosperm it is a nuclear endosperm only. So option 2 also is a correct statement or true statement. And coming to the option 3, in angiosperm, endosperm is mostly triploid while gymnosperm is haploid. So endosperms in angiosperm it is a product of double fertilization. So double fertilization means it always present endosperm in angiosperm always present in triploid. So this endosperm in angiosperm it was formed after the fertilization, so that's why it was present in triploid. But when we see into the gymnosperm, in the gymnosperm double fertilization will not take place, and also that endosperm is formed before the fertilization only. So that's why this endosperm in a gymnosperm is a haploid only. So option 3 also. And option 4, protonat has both nuclear and cellular endosperm. So yes, protonat we can see the example for the nuclear and cellular endosperm. Nuclear endosperm means zygote can undergoing as a many number of cleavage divisions and forming a free nuclear structure that's called as a nuclear endosperm. After the completion of nuclear endosperms, these are the nucleus that can get the cell wall and form as a cell here called as a cellular endosperm. So option 4 also true. And coming to the fifth option, milky water of green tender coconut is a liquid. Yes, these are the coconut that liquid we call as a nuclear endosperm, and here liquid is a female gametophyte they given. It's not a female gametophyte, it's a endosperm. So option 5 is a incorrect statement. So based on that, again some options are given here: 1 and 2, only 2, only 5, and only 3. So here We have to choose the incorrect statement. That incorrect statement it is fifth option or fifth statement. The fifth statement is the incorrect answer is a. And next question it is select the incorrect statement out of the following which regards the metasporogenesis in angiosperms. So in the angiosperms, metasporogenesis we have discussed is a very important concept. In these of the metasporogenesis in angiosperms, when seen into the structure of the metaspore and the development of the metaspore from the metasporangium. Metasporangium we are also called as a ovule. So this is the ovule or we are also called as a metasporangium. Before the formation of this female gametophyte, metasporangium is entirely filled with the new specialized tissue, the tissue we call as nucellus tissue. Nucellus tissue, it's a nutritive tissue. So in these are the nutritive tissue or nucellus tissue, that out of the many number of the nucellus cells, one of the nucellus cell can act as a archisporial cell. That archisporial cell is involved into the female gametophyte development. That is only we call as the formation of metaspore. Based on the concept, it is the options here. A primary archisporial cell develops in the hypodermal region of nucellus, usually towards the chalazal end. See now, in the option A, they given as archisporial cell develops in a hypodermal region that is towards the chalazal region. Actually, the formation of archisporial cell it is developed towards the micropylar end. This is the micropylar end and this is the chalazal end. So, development of the archisporial. Archisporial cells means nothing but the nucellus tissue only. But one of the nucellus cell or nucellus tissue can act as a archisporial cell. It is developed towards the micropyle. So now this is the archisporial tissue. It's not present towards the chalaza, it's towards the micropylar end only. And option B, the primary archisporial cell divides peritoneally to form outer parietal cell and inner sporogenous cell. See now, this is the archisporial cell. That archisporial cell can divide and form outer parietal cells and inner sporogenous cells. So these are the outer parietal cells and this is the inner sporogenous cells. So outer parietal cells are there involved into the formation of integuments, ovule covering, and sporogenous cells involved into the formation of female gametophyte or metaspore development. And option C, the sporogenous cell functions as metaspore mother cells which undergoing the reductional division. Now this is the sporogenous cell. This sporogenous cell can act as a metaspore mother cell, and this can undergoing as a reductional division. Reductional division means meiosis, and can form into 4 haploid metaspores. Can form into 4 haploid metaspores. So this is the metaspore mother cell. We are also called as sporogenous cell. Can undergo a reduction division and form into 4 haploid metaspores. And option 4, only the single functional metaspore develops into the female gametophyte. This type of embryo development called as monospory. So after the formation of 4 metaspores, out of the 4, 3 are degenerate, 1 only functional. This is called as a functional metaspore cell can act as a female gametophyte. So answer it is the given as we have we have select the incorrect statement out of the 4 options. Incorrect statement is A only because that archisporial cells are then formed into the towards micropylar and not into the chalager end. Refer to the given diagram and select the correct option regarding the process of PQR. Here the question they given as a diagram, that is plant X and plant Y. Plant X having as a two bisexual flowers and plant Y having as a one bisexual flower. Here see, these are the flowers, they are labeled with the PQR. See now, here one of the plant X of one flower into stamens, from the stamens to stigma. Pollen grains are that in transfer from the transferring of pollen grains from the one flower into the other flower of the same plant, that is denoted as a P. Its type of the pollination we call as zytonogamy. And in the same plant, it's having flower, bisexual flower. From the bisexual flower, single flower, that is transferring of the pollen grains from the stamens into the same flower of the same plant into a stigma, that is denoted as a R. It is called as a self-pollination, or we are also called as autogamy. And other one, it is labeled Q. Transfer the pollen grains from the X plant of one flower into the Y plant of another flower, that is denoted as a Q. Here the pollen grains are that in transfer from the one plant into the other plant of the two different flowers. So this type of the pollination we call as a cross pollination. So now the PQ are denoted as P is a zytonogamy, Q is a xenogamy, or we are also called as a cross pollination, and R is a self pollination. Based on that, questions options are: process PQR introduce genetic variability in the offspring of sexually reproducing plant XY. Here, PQR introduces a genetic variability in the offspring of sexually reproducing plants X and Y. So, variations are take place mostly in a cross pollination. The cross pollination is denoted by the Q only, and P and R that shows the self pollination. So P and R that not shows the variation. And option B, wind serves as agent for the process Q if plant X and Y belongs into the salvia. See now, wind serves as agent, transferring of the pollen grains from the stamens, that is from anther into the stigma through the specialized agents will be rotated place. Based upon the agents, pollination is classified into several types. Here, wind can act as a pollinating agent. So the type of pollination, it is called as an anemophily. Here they given as wind serves as agent of the process Q, means transferring the pollen from the X plant into the Y plant. Here the Q can consider as a anemophily that belongs into X and Y belongs into the genus of Salvia. Here one thing you want to know, Salvia plants are entomophilous, means these type of the plants are that can perform the pollination through the insects, not act as a not air can act as a pollinating agent, means through the air transferring of the pollen grains will not occur. So according to that, they given as wind serves as a pollinating agent. So here in the salvia plants, wind is not act as a pollinating agent. Insects can act as a pollinating agent. And option C, flower of plant X and Y need to produce odor, nectar for completion of the process P and Q if they are entomophilous. Now here the entomophilous flower means. So which are the flowers are that can perform the pollination through the insects. So insects are they have to visit into the flowers for completion of the pollination. For the attracting of the insects, flowers are they can show the specialized character. Those are color, and they can give into the odor. It all as a smell and nectar. By the presence of these three characters, flowers are we call as a entomophilous flowers. The type of the flowers are that can perform the pollination through the insects. So option C, P and Q process and X and Y they have complete the pollination they needed into the insects. That insects pollinated flowers are we call as entomophilous. And option D, if plant X and Y belongs into the genus Cannabis, they follow need to produce sticky and heavy pollen. So here the characters of entomophilous flowers are pollen grains are their presence in the form of sticky nature, and also these pollen grains are having heavy weight because these pollen grains are they have to transfer through the insects. Insects are that can carry. When the wind can carry the pollen grains will be going to present in the form of a weightless. But here the option they given as if the plants X and Y belongs into the genus Cannabis. So cannabis are they can perform the pollination through the air. It's called as anemophily, means wind pollinating plant. So wind pollinating plants pollen grains are not present in the form of sticky. Those are present in the form of non-sticky, and pollen grains are lightweight. So based on this, correct answer it is C. Next question it is, the number of pollen grains produced by each head inflorescence of family Asteraceae having 10 actinomorphic flowers with 5 anthers, and each anther produce 20 pollen grains. Total number of pollen grains are. So the question they given as, we have to calculate the how many number of pollen grains will be produced from the 10 flowers. The flowers are they belongs into the family of Asteraceae. Asteraceae family, those are that can shows the head inflorescence, and Asteraceae family flower anthers are bilobed and dithecous. You know means of bilobed and dithecous. Bilobed means in anthers, two lobes are present. Theca means each lobe having two. This is a bilobed and dithecous anther. So, so 10 flowers, the 10 flowers are actinomorphic. Actinomorphic means it's a symmetry when you cut the flower in a two directions, it is going to form into two equal halves. So now, based on that Asteraceae family members of the anther character, we have to estimate how many number of the pollen grains are there. That hint it is 10 flower, each flower having 5 anther, and each anther can produce into the 20 pollen grains. So like that 10 flowers are there given. Each flower contain as a 5 anthers. Means 10 into 5 will be get as a 50 anther. So 50 anther. Each anther means 50 anthers. Each anther can produce into 20 pollen grains. So easily we can estimate the number of pollen grains that can produce by the 10 actinomorphic flowers of Asteraceae family, that is 50 into 20, that is will get as a 1000 pollen grains. So answer it is a 1000. Next question it is, to study the pollen germination in some pollen grains from flower such as pea, Protellaria, Blossom, and wingclover collected and dusted on the glass slide contain a drop of B percentage solution A after C minutes. So this type of the question we have studied, and you know at the time of doing lab pollen grain germination, you are going to use as some chemicals. Those are sugar, boric acid, inositol, and calcium. It's direct NCERT question only. See, to know the germination of the pollen grain, we have to use into these chemicals. So they given as a, these are the different plant pollen grains as a pea plants and the wingclover and the blossom, and we are collected in a glass slide contain of the drop of B percentage. So that percentage of the sugar, it is the sugar percentage should be present as 10%, and that solution name is sugar. After the C need, after adding of the pollen grains. So this is the slide you are written to the slide. We are going to add it into the pollen grains. That slide contain of these chemicals, that is sugar and the boric acid, calcium and inositol. After the adding of the pollen ring, we have to wait for the 15 to 30 minutes for the germination. So percentage of the sugar solution, it is a 10, and the solution name is a sugar, and the time it is 15 to 30 minutes. So options are A saline, B 5 and C 5 to 10%. So here the A represented as a solution name. So the solution name they given as saline. It's a solution name. It's not as a salinity or acidity. And option B, A sugar, B 5 and C 10 to 20 minutes. See now here, actually the sugar solution should be present as a 10% only, not as a 5%. And C again they given as a saline and B 10% and C 15 to 30 minutes. So answer is a D, means A is a sugar solution. The solution name is a sugar, and the percentage of the sugar it is 10%, and time for the pollen grain germination it is 15 to 30 minutes. So answer it is D. And next question it is, the nutritive tissue in anther and the ovule are respectively. Anther we are also called as a microsporangium. Ovule we are also called as a metasporangium. From the anthers, pollen grains are developed. From the ovule, embryo sac will be going to form. So for the development of the pollen grains and embryo sac, which are the tissues are they give a food material? So when we see the that is transverse section of anther having as a 4 layers: epidermis, endothelium, middle layers, and innermost layer is a tapetum. So in anther, tapetum is a nutritive tissue. In the same way, when we see into the ovule, in the ovule, before the formation of female gametophyte, ovule body is filled by the specialized tissue. That specialized tissue we call as a nucellus tissue. That nucellus tissue can act as a artisporial cell, later they can act as a sporogenous cell, later can act as a metaspore mother cell, and can produce into the female gametophyte. So the nutritive tissue in a ovule, it is nucellus. So now the answer it should be respectively anther the nutritive tissue is a tapetum, nucellus that is ovule nutritive tissue is a nucellus. So options are given as nucellus and tapetum, tapetum and endosperm, tapetum and integument, tapetum and the nucellus. So answer it should be as a tapetum and nucellus only. Next one, chalazodermy. So this is entry of the pollen tube into the embryo sac. Means at the time of fertilization, based on the entry of pollen tube into the embryo sac, it was classified into 3 types. Entry of pollen tube only classified into 3 types. That is, pollen tube entry through the chalazal part, it's called as a chalazodermy. Pollen tube entry through the integument, it's called as mesodermy. Pollen tube entry take place through the micropyle, it's called as porodermy. The question they are asking about the chalazodermy. For the chalazodermy example, it is. So means chalazodermy means pollen tube can enter into the through chalaza of metasporangium. So options A and B, C, D. Populus, cucurbit, and the Lilium casuarinum. Populus and the cucurbita, these both are example for the mesodermy. Means pollen tube can enter through the integument. And Lilium is example for the porodermy. Pollen tube can enter through the micropyle. And the chalazodermy example it is casuarina and walnut. These are the walnut and casuarina better example for the chalazodermy. Answer is D. And next one, what would be the number of chromosomes in the cell of alluran layer in a plant species with the 8 chromosomes in its final digit? So you have to estimate the number of chromosomes present in alluran layer. So alluran layer ploid you want to know. So alluran layer we have seen on the surface of endosperm. Endosperm is a triploid. So alluran layer also triploid. The hint it is the plant species having 8 chromosomes in synergid. Now the synergid it is a haploid. If the synergid is having 8 chromosomes, what is the number of chromosomes in a alluran layer? That it will be known present in the form of twice. Means 8 into 3 will be that as a 24. In the 24 number of chromosomes are present in alluran layer because alluran layer is like endosperm. So answer is 24C.